Let's see what this lady is
Good
saying.
morning, all.
Yeah.
Media, our panel, students, concerned parents. Good morning. My name is Tyler Grandison. I wrote the CSEC examinations this year. Now, I would just like to lay something up first, before I get into all the details. I wrote 13 subjects. I received 9 grade 1s and 4 grade 2s. Now, hearing this, you may think, what right do I have to complain? As a student, I know my capabilities. My mother, my father, my family knows the effort that I put in. They also know my capabilities. My teachers who are experienced, who have been teaching for years, know my capabilities. And so now when we all enter as I enter the examination, their expectations pushing behind me along with my own, expecting all grade 1s, and I received 9 grade 1s and 4 grade 2s, you cannot imagine how disappointed I was. When I first saw my grades, I logged in onto that portal. I was shocked.
Alright, so welcome guys, and as you've just heard, many students across the Caribbean, including this young lady here, were quite angry at the grades they received for their toils in the concluded CSEC exams. And many of them were saying that their results didn't match their talents. And my big question is that, are we placing too much focus on CSEC exam? I'm not saying that we shouldn't do it, but in today's new world, are we placing too much emphasis on getting subjects and we're not paying the same amount of energy to ensure that students are allowed the chance to all leave high school, not just with subjects, but a skill? So in today's video, I'm going to discuss CSEC subjects or skills. So stay tuned. Alright, so welcome again guys, and as you would have heard, I'm going to speak to the issue of subjects versus obtaining our skills. So for me, I must say I'm very, should I say, can I say, I'm very deeply concerned about the obsession for getting subjects. And personally, I find it very hard to accept that people, especially schools, can continue to go after bragging rights for how many students get 14 subjects, 13 subjects, how many grade 1s, and it can go on and on. And the sad thing is that many of these schools are not worried about how these students will and can connect to the job markets they are going to go out there after they leave high school, whether in 5th form or 6th form. And the sad thing, these children are going to be bright as hell, but many of them won't have much to offer other than their subjects. And what we can see now is rising unemployment, and across the Caribbean, youth unemployment is doubling, or could we just kind of say it's rising every year, and more students are leaving with 10, 11, 8 subjects, and they really don't have nowhere to matriculate to, and it's of a concern. And skills is an area, and the sad thing is that you can go in many countries and you have a hard time finding a good carpenter, a good mason worker, and in many cases, many times you do find one. There are cases where they are not of standard, and the shortages of skills is just a clear indication that we're not doing enough in the high school. And the thing is that the question now asks, what are we really creating for the economy? Seeing that all we're focusing on is to create students who are able to pass 10 subjects, 8 subjects. But when you really look at what the economy is requiring, we're not producing as much masons, etc. I know in Jamaica we're trying, but across the Caribbean, it's an issue. And the sad thing is that too many of our students are leaving with just subjects. And the sad thing, we have so many skills that we're not using. For example, emotional intelligence. We're not really focusing on that. Coding, we're not looking into that, and the demand for coding is becoming increasingly high, especially with our technological advancements. And these skills are not addressed in our schools today. And what is bothersome is that we are setting up our children for frustration, because when they leave high school with all of these subjects, what else is there for them? And I know many persons become frustrated, especially when our economy is not producing as many jobs, and so many students are now forced to sink or swim, or to somehow diversify themselves. All right, so we know uh, are faced with an issue, and we now need to start looking at the whole evolution of skills in our school system. And as we move forward in education, we need to look at how we can incorporate skills training uh, in schools, and not just solely focus on teaching subjects. And at the end of the day, if you really look at it, you have persons out there that would have the aptitude to be a good plumber, but sadly the school they go to don't offer plumbing. And the sad thing is that here in Jamaica, schools that offer plumbing are often those schools that are, should I say, at the lower end of the learning spectrum. And the sad thing about it is that those students who do the plumbing are not considered to be the brightest. And the sad thing is that while you have the more traditional schools, uh, to my knowledge, they don't really offer much outside of probably woodwork and auto. Yeah, some schools offer technical drawing and mechanical drawing, but when you really look at other skill areas, plumbing, masonry, welding, those skills are not there. And in our evolution of our economy, we realize that more and more persons are required to fill vacancies, such as welders, carpenters in countries such as Canada. And the sad thing is that I don't think CSEC, as well as our regional school system, is focusing on developing youth for the future. And the sad thing again, we are just producing students going to leave frustrated because all they have and all they know for the most part is to pass their subjects, and in this 21st century subjects alone won't cut it. And sadly, you have agencies such as Heart in Jamaica. Wonderful idea, but I think that programs like that need to be uh, done in high schools, and each and every person should leave high school with a skill and not just a subject, because at the end of the day, where you can't develop yourself through subjects, you can always develop yourself through a skill, and you always can eat a food, as Jamaicans would say, through obtaining a skill. So at the end of the day, I'm not bashing anyone to have 13 subjects, because it's just my mantra. I love to say it. You have many cases persons kill themselves to get 14, 15 subjects, and at the end of the day, they are going to university with persons with just 5 subjects. So it's all good to get it, but at the end of the day, I'm just advocating that the governments across the Caribbean, not just only in Jamaica, need to look at ways in which they can incorporate skills training in schools, so that each and every student, whether they want to go in the emotional industry, in coding, in welding, anything they want, the school should be the place for them to learn these skills, to see what they want to do. And we need to stop limiting students in what they can or cannot do. I know about in Jamaica, if you go to those traditional high schools, chances are you won't be leaving with a skill. And if you do want to learn a skill, you won't learn it in school. You will have to learn it outside of school. And I just wish that each and every school would give students a chance, as I said earlier, to learn at least one skill. So that by the time they leave high school, they are not only rounded with what they learn, but also what they can do. So, guys, what do you think about that? Am I wrong? But uh, I know most of you would agree with me. And please leave your comments and look out for more videos. And I will definitely do a follow up on this one. So until next time, guys, stay safe and stay blessed.